What was the argument about? Like, why did he want you to take the hat off?
Well, I bought that hat in Durango, Mexico, when I was doing a Western, right before we were doing the read-throughs for Kill Bill. And I started, just my hat, man. So I didn't have a plan for it, but I was wearing it to the read-throughs for Kill Bill. And Quentin comes up to me and he goes, "You're not going to wear that hat." And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're not wearing that hat in the movie." And I go, "Well, I wasn't really planning on it." He goes, "I know, but every time you show up, you got the hat." And I go, "Well, that's because it's my hat. It wasn't a setup, And he says, "No, but you're not going to wear it in the movie." And I said, "Well, I kind of want to now. Now that you're saying that, I think maybe I will wear it." And he goes, no. And so, anyway, like the next day, there I am in the hat, and he says, "I can't now picture you without the hat. So you can wear it in the movie." And so I did, but then later on when we were shooting, after establishing the goddamn thing in the graveyard,
Yeah.
he wrote the scene where I have to take the hat off in the strip club. And him and Larry didn't tell me that he was going to say that on camera, that he was going to tell me, "Hey, why don't you take off that hat?" And I didn't know that he was going to do that.
Improv.
Yeah. And so when I take that hat off, that was no acting for me because I didn't want to take the goddamn thing off, but I was trying to go with the scene.
Right.
And so I took it off, but
It motivated
it
you.
was a trick. They played a trick on me to make me take the hat off, which is brilliant. That's brilliant filmmaking.
Well, can I just compliment you really quickly? Because think about what those guys had to talk about before to figure that out, to do that to you. No, but it just means your acting is so what it is, but it's intense, Michael.
That's funny. There's that scene. He's like, "Take off that fucking hat." Yeah, I actually love him in Kill Bill. He's not the star, but man, every second he's on screen, I just love it. Like him giving that speech about how, she deserves her revenge and we deserve to die. It's so good.
As an actor, you're a very focused, intense guy when you do your thing.
Larry told me later on, he said that Quentin went to his trailer and he said, "You got to make Madsen take off that hat. I don't know how you're going to do it, but just make him take that hat off."
I can just see Quentin in his trailer going,
How are we going to get Michael to take that hat off? And they planned it. Him and Larry planned it. And then they sprung it on me, right when I'm standing there with the thing on. I had to react to it, and I didn't know what was going on.
Mike, you just came off of Reservoir Dogs, like this huge indie, like the biggest movie of the year, indie-wise, right?
Yeah.
Makes a name for Quentin, makes a name for the cast involved. And when does the script of Free Willy come your way?
Oh, God, that was way before that. No, I did Free Willy way before. Well, I don't know. What year was Free Willy? Reservoir Dogs was 92.
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs was 92. Free Willy was 93.
Okay, well, see, I got that backwards then. I would have thought it was the other way around. When I got the script for Free Willy, I didn't understand why they wanted me for the dad. And I remember I was really worried. And I went to Simon Windsor, who was the director of it. And I said, "Simon, man," I said, why did you cast me as his father? And he goes, "Well, Michael, I don't know, mate, So, and I thought there must be something in the script that they hadn't told me about. Like I would do something really bad at some point. I was going to hurt the kid, or I was going to cut one of Willie.
had to be there.
I was going to cut Willie's fin or something. I was convinced that they had tricked me to be the father by not telling me that I was going to do some dastardly thing. And he goes, no, Michael, no. We just think you'd be a great father figure because, we needed the father to have a little edge. And I go, "Oh, okay. I have a little edge." Yeah.
The Free Willy edge.
And who's the guy? Richard Donner. Who was Richard Donner's wife?
Laura
Laura
Schuler.
Schuler Donner was the associate producer on Free Willy. And I remember I asked her, because I went to meet everybody before they did it. And I said, I was talking to Simon, and I'm just kind of curious, I'm so curious why you guys have me as the father in the film. And she goes, well, what did he say? And I said, well, he told me that they wanted somebody with an edge. And she goes, well, you certainly have that. And I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. I said, really? I started imagining, why do I have an edge? What does that mean, I have an edge? And right away I thought, well, it must be because of Reservoir Dogs, right? It's because I did that thing with the cop in the chair. And I said, so there's nothing in there you didn't have me read, right? And she goes, well, no, Michael. I said, oh, I'm not going to hurt Willie, am I? And she goes, no. And I said, I don't want any bad scenes with the kid. I don't want to hurt kids. And she goes, no, Michael, my God. Nothing like that's going to happen. And I said, okay, all right. So this should be fun. Then I'll be the good guy. I'll be the good father. Yeah.
I gotta clean my freaking eyes. Oh my Lord, that's
it's a true story. Yeah.
So
It was great.
I gotta ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
At that time, you had to be considering all kinds of offers.
Not really.
Okay. After Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, after that. But you see, when Dogs came out, it was such an independent film. And it wasn't really released in a lot of theaters.
Right.
And not a lot of people saw it until Pulp Fiction came out.
Right.
Then all of a sudden,
It triggered that.
Quentin's first movie became this thing that everybody wanted to talk about, Reservoir Dogs. Wow. Because up to then, it was just an independent film that a few people thought was pretty cool in Sundance and in Toronto and in a couple of different places. People were talking about it, but it wasn't getting me any work at all. It wasn't like that. I was pumping gas in Beverly Hills at the Union 76. I mean, I was an episodic TV actor. And I thought Dogs was
Interesting, but that's interesting for people watching the show to understand. Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, two totally, obviously different movies.
Yeah.
Two totally different characters for you.
Yeah.
Two totally different visions for Quentin.
Yeah.
And it's wild to think in the retrospect that he's Quentin, right? He's a genius.
Well, nobody knew that then. I mean, when I got the script for that thing, they told me not to do it. They said,
Reservoir.
Yeah, when I got.
Wow. So Reservoir helped his career a little bit, but then and he's not in Pulp Fiction. I was watching something last night, like he was offered the role of John Travolta, but he turned it down because he's like, I don't want to keep playing a villain, I mean, is he a villain in that? Yeah, I guess he's a hitman. Yeah, but they don't really. He does okay in the beginning. He kills those guys. Yeah, with the when they're eating the tasty burger. Okay, but that's interesting. Wow, he's barely making it by when he's doing Reservoir Dogs. And then Pulp Fiction comes out, then they probably re-release Reservoir Dogs, and it's funny, I actually like Reservoir Dogs more than Pulp Fiction. I mean, I like Pulp Fiction, but, I probably like Kill Bill better, I probably like Inglourious Bastards better, but that's just me.
Reservoir Dogs.
Your agents told you not to do it?
Yeah. They told me that it was, they said, listen, nobody knows this guy Quentin. Nobody's ever heard of him. He's never made a film before. There's nobody in it, and there's no money, Michael, okay? Just so you know, going in, nobody's getting paid, and there's nobody in it. And I was like, wow, I kind of like it, though. I mean, I really like the writing. I never read anything like this. It's so cool, these guys.
But how wonderful is it that instinct inside of you, what if you'd listened, right?
No, I often wonder that. And just to make another comment about the whole thing, well, God, I don't know if I should. Got to be careful on these things.
We can bleep it out. Go ahead.
Wanted Quentin to cut the torture scene from Reservoir Dogs. In fact, he threatened him was not going to release Reservoir Dogs unless they took out Michael Madsen with the ear cutting scene. Insisted that the movie would lose its female audience with that scene. And Quentin, God bless him, Quentin said, no, I put Michael in this movie. I put him in that scene, and I'm going to leave it in the movie.
Absolutely.
And you see, if he hadn't stood up for me that way, who knows if I'd even be sitting here talking to you.
Amen.
I mean, I'd still be pumping gas, probably.
Yeah, but that's
But God bless him. I mean, you know, but that's the way he is. And he stood up for me.
See, that shows a lot about Quentin, though. He's a stand-up guy, because he's like, no, it's not fair to Michael, because he read, that was in the script, and he read it, and he liked it, and that's his scene. Wow, that's like one of the best scenes in the movie. I mean, heck, he's probably my favorite thing in that movie, too. I mean, the movie's so good, though. Who's the undercover cop? What's his name? Tim Rolfe? I mean, he's great, too, but wonder who that was. He said Mr. Was that Harvey Keitel? I don't know. Maybe not.
Stood up for his material, but here's this big shot, big wig, who was going to just say, I don't want that in there.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he had the power.
He had the power to have done away with me. Yeah.
So I could go on and on and on, Michael, about the films and the performances. I'm not blowing smoke. I could really, people love you because you're generationally a handful of actors comes along that are qualified. I'm not trying to blow smoke. I'm just
no. I feel no. It's,
but in your generation, you're one of the cats that you can count on two hands. That's a blessing. You know what I mean?
No,
the respect that the fans have is incredible. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, I appreciate it so much. I mean, I never know what to say about something like that. Some stories that would be really bizarrely insane. I could get into so much trouble, man. I've seen some things, man, that are just unbelievable.
Such as?
Oh God, man, I don't know. So it's kind of.
Can I ask, like, what do you think your best performance is? Do you ever look back at your performance and say, man, I was really in the zone there?
I did a picture called Strength and Honor. I played an Irish American prize fighter, and I think it's probably the best thing I ever did.
Strength and Honor?
Strength and Honor, yeah. I was an Irish American prize fighter. It's a story about my son.
It's not iced tea, but
My son is gonna.
it's coconut water, fresh coconut.
Okay, and I have to fight to save my son's life, and it never got any distribution. It never came out.
It never came out?
No, it's me and Vinnie Jones. It's a great boxing picture. I stopped smoking. I stopped drinking. I trained for 3 months. I was supposed to be a prize fighter. We shot the movie in Ireland. I had like 5 or 6 fights, like professional fights. Wow. And I had to fight Vinnie Jones at the end of the movie.
Big dude?
Yeah, Vinnie's a big dude, a scary guy. I'm glad he did it because I needed to be afraid of that person to make it work. But the movie never came out. It was another one of my Weinstein problems. Harvey Weinstein didn't want to have a distribution of it.
So it's just still sitting on the shelf.
He buried the print of it in Cannes Film Festival.
Wow. So there's no way to access it? There's no way to, wow.
No, man, it's over. You see, the thing is, once a picture is past its time, it's over. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't re-get it and re-put it back to the world. It doesn't work that way. If it was a big movie, you could go big Bonnie and Clyde, you could re-release it tomorrow and it'd probably do great.
I'd like to see that. Man, a boxing movie with him and Vinnie Jones. Sounds good in Ireland. And Weinstein buried it. They never even released it? Wow. That's just crazy. There's fully done movies that just never released. They thought it wasn't worth paying the money to release it. Just great.
But Strength and Honor, it's over. No one's ever heard of it. No one ever saw it. You can't revitalize it now and bring it back to, it's impossible. Once it's gone, it's gone. They released it on video in the UK, which nobody even rented it. It just.
So there are copies out there. I just
Oh
need to
yeah,
get
no, it's
this
out there.
movie.
It's out there, man. You can find it.
Yeah, I want to get it. Yeah. Wow.
That was a good picture, man.
When was that?
I could have gotten Academy Award for that. I really honestly say that, not egotistically. It was 2007, 2008. Yeah, I can't remember it, honestly. Richard Chamberlain's in it.
Okay. Jeez.
And Patrick Bergen's in it.
Got it.
And Vinnie Jones, of course, is the big fighter at the end. But I had an Irish accent, man.
Did you?
I fought my ass off. I had a kickboxer trainer from Thailand and a middleweight from Ireland to train me. He had big scenes in the gym. I skipped rope and hit a speed bag and all that stuff.
Can we use this? Can we use this material right now? Are you cool for us to use what you're talking about right now?
Sure.
No, can you just adjust the mic?
No,
I'm fascinated by that.
I love Strength and Honor. I thought it was a great boxing film.
And so, can you
There's no swearing. There's no cigarettes.
Wow.
It's a father-son story.
And
I kill a guy in a ring in an amateur fight, and I tell my family that I'm never going to fight again because I feel so bad about killing this guy. And then I find out my son needs heart surgery, and there's a great big fight that's a bare knuckle fight that they actually do in Ireland. And it's a real thing that happens. And the prize money to win the bare knuckle is $250,000. And that's what I need to get the operation for my son. And so I train for it, and I go into it and get in the fight and get myself together so I can save my son, get him his operation.
And that's when you quit smoking, was for that role, and you stopped smoking since then?
No, after that, I was back on everything.
So after a few months, did you feel different? Like having gone through the boxing training, just like in your day-to-day, did you feel like, how different did it feel?
I got really depressed that the movie didn't come out. I got really shattered and really depressed that it never came out. It really ruined me. I did another cop picture right around then called Vice. And that was the killer again. And I don't know. This Vice got more attention than I just blamed Harvey Weinstein. I wanted to choke that motherfucker. I was not somebody who felt bad about him going to prison. Amen. He could have distributed Strength and Honor, and he didn't do it because he's a big asshole.
Well, he's getting his just desserts now.
He's gonna die in prison.
Yeah. I mean, I hope people listening can rediscover this movie out there, because I know I want to see it tonight, honestly. While we're just sitting and waiting, can I just ask you a few more questions about Free Willy and stuff?
No, go ahead, man.
So did you read the script, or were you aware of like what the original version of the script was, how the main kid was mute and he lived with nuns and all that? Was that not on your radar?
Oh, Free Willy?
Yeah.
I read the original script, and I didn't ever, there was nothing about him being with any nuns.
Oh, really?
Not that I remember.
Okay. That could be internet conjecture then.
No, it was a lot simpler than that.
Okay.
I mean, the script that I read was what we shot, is what the movie is.
Nice.
That kid didn't want to be that kid. Jason did not want to be in the movie.
Really?
He didn't want to be the kid in the whale movie.
Wow.
He would say all the time, he was just miserable. And I'd say, you're an idiot. I go, buddy, you're going to be like this big thing. You're going to be the most famous kid actor in the world when this comes out. Don't you realize that? And he's like, no, I don't want to be. I hate this, Michael. I don't want to be the whale kid. I didn't understand it. He wanted to be a guitar player. He wanted to be a musician. And he was obsessed with it. And, oh, God. And then his mother got married to the director of Willy 2, Dwight Little. Jason's mom got married to that guy who did the second one. And he never went anywhere. I mean, look around. What happened to the kid from Free Willy? Nothing. You know, he could have been, you know, huge if he would have taken advantage of it. But he didn't want to be an actor. It wasn't his thing. He just didn't want to be that thing in life. Now I think he's realizing it, of what he could have done or what could have happened, but it's too late.
I think he moved kind of behind the camera, right? He was doing producing or like.
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. We never really stayed in touch. You know, he wasn't a bad guy. He just was confused, and I don't think he realized that time goes by. You know, the clock is always ticking. I don't think he realized it, but now it's too late.
Was anyone? I mean, when you saw the poster work, was anyone surprised that everything about the movie gave the ending away?
Well, yeah, but back then nobody realized that it was giving it away. You know, it was just this whale jumping through the air with the kid. Nobody knew that was going to happen. You know, for real. In the movie, I mean, people were spoiled now, man. You know, I mean, that was when that came out. It was a big thing, man. It was a big, happy family movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was second behind Jurassic Park that year, which like
people cry when they see that goddamn thing. You know?
My daughter loves it now. She was drawing an orca this morning before I left. I swear.
No,
I swear.
I did a lot of stuff in that movie. That's me driving the truck through the fence. That's me driving the truck when the whale's on the trailer. That's me backing it into the water. I did all that stuff. All the tow truck stuff was actually me driving.
And you knew how to do that just because you were mechanical and
yeah, I drove a tow truck for real life, you know, in Chicago. To me, it was like, oh yeah, it's a great truck. That is a beautiful truck. It was a nice blue Ford pickup. It was a nice truck.
What part of Chicago did you grow up in?
I was right in the city, like by Wrigley Field.
Oh, you've Wrigley, okay.
Yeah, and my dad was a Chicago fireman.
No kidding.
Yeah. No, sure, guys. No, my father was a firefighter in Chicago, and I went to Steppenwolf Theater acting school for about 2 days in Chicago, and I was playing baseball, and I was building quarter-mile drag cars. I wanted to be Richard Petty. That was my thing. I was going to be Richard Petty. That was my goal in life. I had no interest in being a movie actor.
At what point did that change for you, though?
That's a long story. That's a long word. I got to give you the short version of it.
Thank you for your patience.
No, sure, man.
I think Lex Luthor's calling in a little bit here. I call him Lex Luthor.
Tell him to get on the phone.
He's calling right now.
Oh, good.
Literally, I just talked to him.
Okay, cool.
On Free Willy 2, did anyone talk about how the message of the movie kind of negated the whole message of the first one? Because like the whole point was whales shouldn't be captured and confined. They let him out. And then in part 2, he's at
I
risk of
thought
dying.
the second one was stupid. I only did the second one because they paid me a lot of money. You know, that's the God's truth. You know, I mean, honestly, you know what happened to the real whale? They tried to set the thing free. And they towed it behind a frigate out of Finland.
Forget me.
And the goddamn thing escaped into the ocean and died. It got a virus from the ocean and killed it. You know, so what's the big thing? Let's set it free. Well, hey, man, it might have worked in the movie. In real life, it didn't happen.
Okay. I just don't know if this music's copyrighted or what, but just got a little bit more. Those interesting interviews. That's with a Baldwin, right?
Donnie Brasco. Because I'm a terrible, terrible cold reader.
I'm the same. I can't believe
I don't know what it is, but I don't like to be put in a position where I have to prove something.
Right.
You know, I get mad. I say, listen, you guys know I can do this. And so what's the point of making me read for it? because then I'm not going to be good.
You're second guessing.
I'm not going to get the part. So if I read for Donnie Brasco, I'm not going to get cast in the movie. So I'm not going to read. And they passed me by, and they weren't going to do it. And they got another actor, and they tried to trick me a couple times into reading for it, but I didn't do it. And then finally they said, well, okay, how do you feel about meeting Al? And I said, oh, well, he must have casting approval. And they go, well, yes and no. And I go, no, yes. He obviously does. They said, well, would you meet him? And I go, well, yeah, of course I'll meet him. Who the doesn't want to meet Al Pacino? I said, yeah, I'll meet him. I'll meet him.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we got to fly you to New York. And I said, yeah, okay. Yeah. So they flew me to New York, man. And these guys came to the hotel. And they had the little earplugs in. It was like meeting the president of the United States. You know, they took me down a hallway and up a stairway and in an elevator. And some guy named Rocco picked me up. You know, it was really, it was like a big thing to meet him. And yeah, as we get there, and there's a room with the door, and they say, he's in there. I'm like, what? What do I mean? Al's in there. I said, well, okay. Why are you telling me that? They said, no, he's in there waiting for you. And I go, oh, you want me to go in there? And like, yeah, he's go in there. He's in there. And I'm like, well, okay, you know? And they're all standing there with their earplugs, like, looking at me. And I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake. So I go over and I open the door and say, okay, man. And I walk in, and it's a little room like this. And there's Al with his back to me. And he's looking out the window, all right? And there's bookcases behind me and a desk. And I'm like, wow, okay. And he doesn't say anything. So now I'm looking around for something to do. And I took this book out from a bookshelf that was behind me. And I started looking at the book. And all of a sudden I hear, I like that book. And I look over and I realize he can see my reflection in the window that he's got his back to me.
Right.
And he can see me with the goddamn thing. You like that book? I'm like, I go, no, I don't even know what book it is, okay? You know, and he goes, oh. And now he turns around and he goes, you like the script? And I go, yeah, I like the script. You should read the book? I go, yeah, I read the book. It's better than that book. I go, yeah.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he did. And he goes, anything about the script you don't like? And I said, yeah, there's one thing. You know, in the book, Sonny Black has birds. He keeps pigeons on the roof, you know, like Terry in the waterfront, you know. Right. He's got the birds on the roof. He goes, oh, ha, ha. You don't get the birds. Like, what do you mean? He goes, I get the birds. I get the birds. Birds for me. And I go, okay, all right. And he goes, you got a problem with that? And I go, no, I don't have a problem with that. Okay, you can have the birds. He goes, I get them.
Wait, what? Is that in the movie? I don't remember that. I don't remember him on a rooftop with birds. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it's a great movie.
I go, okay. It was like a thing, like he wanted to know.
But I love it.
And I said, okay, great. So I'm standing there, you know, and it was like a good, 10 seconds, man. Just nothing, right? And I'm thinking, okay. Mm-hmm. And I go, well, is that it? He goes, oh, is that it? And I go, yeah, is that it? He goes, I don't know. I said, you don't know? And he goes, it was so awkward. It was so awkward. And yeah, I guess that's it. And he didn't even answer me. And he turns around again. He's looking out the window.
Do you think he was in character?
I don't know.
He might have been in freaking character.
I don't know, but I left. And I thought, okay, that's it, man. I'm not going to be in this movie. And I went back to the hotel, and I got in my room, and I'm sitting on the bed. Like, oh, well, you know, I got to go back to L.A. And the phone rang. It was my manager, and he said, oh, you're doing Donnie Brasco. Just like that. And I never would have got it if I had read for it. I probably would.
It's so bizarre. I get the birds. Oh, got a problem with that? I don't even think that's in the movie. It's hilarious. So weird. Is that it? Oh, is that it? Oh. Like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna go.
Never even met Al if I had read for it.
Right? There's no way you would have.
That's the way it happened.
You just went and had a conversation.
But it was about 7 minutes. Yeah. That's all it was.
I think he was in character. And wait a second. But I think, listen to the first word. You like the book? Like, I mean,
You like that book?
in
You
character.
like that book? Yeah, I know. It was very lefty. It was very leftyist. It was very, very, very much the way he did that
And
part.
because you, in my sense of the story, because you stayed you. You stayed you. You know what I mean? You just did. You did like, what do you want to do? You're like,
It was
I'm
him.
here.
I
They
mean,
said, come here. You know
it's
what I mean?
Al Pacino. I mean, what am I going to do? You know, I mean, you like that book? Well, yeah.
What the fuck?
What book? I don't know what book it is. I just took it off the thing. You know, I mean, I didn't know what to talk about. The birds, man. You know,
So
I
that's the next
get the birds.
But that's the next observation.
And you watch the movie, and there's no birds in the movie. They never even gave it to him. It's not even in the film.
But that's my point of why I'm wondering, was he
Nobody had him.
character? Because you were saying something like maybe if he's listening to you in that room and he thinks you're the character, he's going to go, I get the birds. You know what I'm saying?
No, sure. No, I get that. Yeah, he was wonderful when we worked on the picture. I mean, I probably never had a 5-minute conversation with Johnny Depp.
Right.
You know, Johnny's like, he's not even in the same room with you.
Okay, can I say something now?
But Al, man, he was every day. Al even showed up and was off camera for me
Beautiful.
on days when he wasn't even shooting.
That's wonderful.
He'd come in with a cup of coffee. Where's Madsen? Where's Madsen? I'm like, I'm over here. He'd say, oh, I'll be here. I'll be over here. And I'd say, oh, okay.
That's
I
brilliant.
wouldn't have to look at a light stand. It was him, you know.
Right.
I don't know. It's great respect, man. Great
Now we can edit this, as you know.
Yeah, well,
So I mean, can I talk about Johnny Depp?
I don't get it.
But
I mean,
I-
Edward Scissorhands I couldn't do that. Maybe I could. I'd be an interesting Edward Scissorhands. I'd be really good. Probably.
Yes, you would.
You know, I would have made a great Batman, but it just wasn't meant to happen. But when you take Johnny and you put him in Donnie Brasco, it just didn't work for me.
Right. But how is
There's
it
no way that guy would have
How
been let
is it
in
for you
to the
as
family.
an
They would have
actor?
bumped him off.
as an actor with your process?
Yeah.
Does it? And I know the answer already, but how is it when it hits you that like, oh, I'm in a movie. We just did a table read. I have scenes with that person, and they're not very good. Not Johnny. I just mean,
No, it's happened to me before. It's happened a lot of times. It's tough, but you got to ask yourself: look at how lucky am I to be in this?
right.
I'm in it, and I'm lucky to be in it, and that guy's going to be that. Okay, then I have to make it work somehow.
Right.
You know, if this doesn't work for me, but I'm not the one who's putting up the money for this. I didn't write it. You know, I'm not directing it. I just have to be this other guy, and you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Steven, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you just have to do
But
what it is.
now I'm going there. So with Depp, was there any moments with Depp where you were performing opposite him and you went, "Oh, this guy's terrible"?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I was trying to sugarcoat that a
No,
little
it
bit, but there really
wasn't
no way to
terrible.
do
It was just boring. It was like
it.
lifeless.
I can't believe you're saying
There was a
That's
lifelessness to it that I couldn't comprehend. It made no sense to me.
Mm.
You know, I'd see Bruno Kirby pouring Johnny's Cheerios, you know, in his trailer.
Yeah.
There's Bruno pouring Cheerios for Johnny.
Why was he doing it? Some method thing?
No, they were just hanging out, I guess. But it was the something happened to me and Johnny in the Viper room. As a matter of fact, I'd like to tell the truth of the story if I could. But I went to see.
Yeah, I guess I could kind of see that. I think he's okay in it. Yeah, it's kind of a different kind of weird role for him to play. Yeah, I get it. For me, that's Al Pacino's movie, really. And it's got a great cast. But yeah, wow, I can't believe he said that about Johnny Depp. That's hilarious.
After Donnie Brasco, I had went to the Viper room one night, and Al Pacino was there actually, and there was some band playing or something, but I knew Johnny owned the Viper room, right? And so whatever, you know, he's there, and you know, we were never friendly to each other on the movie.
Well, you're intimidating, Mike.
Well, something weird. There's a whole other thing happened that I could tell about, but the bad guys, the real guys, set me and Johnny up one time. They did a really mean thing to Johnny. And they put a big rubber rat in a room that had a battery in it that made it move in a big rat trap.
Right.
And they made me push Johnny in the room.
Right.
And they closed the door and locked him in there
Right.
with the rat. And when he came out, he was white-faced. And they said, that's because you're a rat. In the movie, you play a rat. You see it. But it was all in good humor.
Right.
You know, they weren't going to beat us up or kill us, but they were letting us know you're playing us, guys.
This is the we
So
do.
be real about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But after that day, Johnny didn't want to have anything to do with me because he thought I had befriended them in the rat trick thing.
Oh, weird.
But anyway, we're at the Viper Room. And these two guys, well, there's one guy, he starts nudging me at the bar, right? Oh, so you're, you know, in this movie with Johnny and that kind of thing. You know, this probably happened to you before.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, no, man, hey, you know, I don't know you. And yeah, I'm in the picture, so what? But it became an aggressive thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, man, I don't want to get in a fight in here. And so I went in the bathroom and someone comes in the bathroom and the lights went out in the bathroom. And I'm like, holy man. But I was in the stall, not at the urinal.
Right.
I'm in a stall.
Yeah.
And bam, the stall door like hits me,
Right.
you know, and I turn around and it's total darkness. And somebody hit me right in the face. And I fell back against the toilet and it ruptured the glass tank on the back of the toilet, the porcelain tank.
Yeah.
And all the water came rushing out. And I got up and I came through the door and this other guy was there and it was the one that was being a jerk at the bar. And I got a really good punch right in his mug. And he fell back against the paper towel thing. And he hit it so hard that it came off the wall.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And just then, Al comes in the bathroom.
Oh,
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to my little friend.
No, he comes in and he's like, oh. And this poor guy bounced off the wall and all the water's rushing through from the broken toilet. And I'm standing there and Al's looking at me and the two of them run out and I'm standing there looking at Al. He goes, oh. And I go, yeah, man, what the f-? And I walk out of the bathroom and I go back over to the bar. It's really crowded. And I'm looking for these and they were nowhere around. And all of a sudden this big bouncer comes over. He's a big guy, man. And he says, you got to go. And I said, okay, man. And so I slowly, you know, went out, but I was trying to explain, these guys came in the bathroom and they me up. And
Right.
what was that all about? You know, the guy who asked me to leave, he said, Johnny wants me to tell you that he thought you loved him. And I'll never forget that. And I said, well, I don't know what does that mean? What did that mean? I don't know what that meant, right?
Coming from Johnny,
And they come over from, and then,
right?
and the next day, I got his agency calling my agent saying Michael Madsen made a big problem in the Viper Room last night. He broke the toilet.
Listen, I don't think Mike Madsen's going to miss the Viper Room very much.
No, I never went back there. I never went back. And
No skin off Mike Madsen's ass, I
Hey,
assure
no.
you. Well, we hope.
Wow, so weird. What? Johnny wants me to tell you that he thought that you loved him. What? What does it mean? Michael Madsen's great.
you
I
should
went
get
and got him myself, bro.
you should get the full size ones.
Oh,
I love movie posters, man.
I love him.
I'm obsessed with them. I probably had about 100 of them. My house burned down in Malibu. My house in Malibu burned down in 2018, and I lost all my posters.
Oh,
I had so many, man.
I can't imagine.
I probably had
You
40 or
must have
50.
Amazing.
I had some good ones. I had a good couple $100,000 worth. Yeah. Wow. They're all burned up in my house now. I had a Junior Bonner that Clinton gave me. It was an Italian Junior Bonner poster.
Oh, yeah?
Are we waiting for somebody?
Yeah, we got him. We're just dialing him in right now. Can you hear me, buddy? Can you hear me? We can hear you, sir.
Hey, Alec.
Yes.
It's Rudy. I'm telling your brother some stories.
You do these movies, and you think no one's ever going to be able to play that part, you know?
Probably not.
Played that part originally.
Yeah, he was so good. You know, I just wanted to. I thought that Al Lettieri, I thought he was so good. I wanted to be.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, who's going to do that? Nobody can do that. You know.
You were fantastic, man.
No, thanks, Alec. But you know,
In that movie, you were great.
yeah, but I had you there with me, so it made it easy.
I believe that's
No, Alec, come on, you were great in that thing. You know you were, man. You know you did a good job in that, Alec. You're handsome and you got the charisma of it. You pulled it off, man.
That's 30 years ago, 1994.
That's scary, man. That's scary.
Now, you doing okay? You doing well?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm
He looks great, man.
just trying to stay employed.
Well,
You know.
just mention real quickly, I tell my brother Steven, I said, that was one of the funniest experiences I've ever had.
We had a good time,
We're
man.
down there in Yuma,
Yeah.
and it was that really tough sun. It was dry, but I think we went down one time over the border.
Yeah.
And we went over the border, just over the border from Mexico. It was 126 degrees one day.
Yeah, yeah.
It was really, really hot. But my favorite moment, I told Stephen, was that we're there, and none of us wants to go to work. We got wrapped early.
I wanted to stay in the pool.
You were in the pool. I won't name any other names, but just you, me, and a bunch of special guest stars in the pool.
Yeah.
And we're there, and you're laying in the corner like a boxer in a boxing ring. Your arms up on the side.
In my corner.
You got a bunch of dead soldiers around, a bunch of beer bottles and half-eaten club sandwiches and this and that. And I was sitting there, and the phone rings, and they got an old school regular telephone on a little hook on the side of a
Yeah.
there. And I run up there and I pick up the phone, and you look at me and go, Alec, tell him I'm not here. Tell him I'm not here, Alec. And I'm doing my best Chicago accent, and I go, and I pick up the phone and I go, hello? And on the other end, they're going, is Mr. Michael Madsen there? And I go, Mr. Michael Mason? Michael Mason? They're going, no, Michael Madsen. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. He's not here. Mr. Michael Mason is not here. And you're sitting there trying not to laugh. And I'm going, no, I'm so sorry. I go, is a Mr. Michael Mason here? And everyone's quiet. And I go, no, I'm so sorry. He is not here, Mr. Mason. No, it's Madsen. And I hang up. And you're like, God damn it, Alec, you're the funniest mother.
I couldn't. I was trying to figure out why you decided to use a Mexican accent.
The good news is we didn't have to go back to work that day.
No, we saved it.
It's all that mattered.
Oh
It's
God,
all that mattered. We weren't done with the pool.
those were good times,
Fucking
man.
Bathtub, anyway.
You remember when you saw Rudy in the hallway, in the hotel?
Yes.
You remember what I did?
Yes. I do. You want to go there?
You said we don't want to go there.
No, you just answered it good enough, though.
Come
That
on,
was fun.
actually.
I did want to say one thing. Remember when I teased you about doing the hand behind the gun?
Yeah.
And you said you weren't going to do it because you were mad because I kept teasing you about Steve. But then you actually did it. You did the hand thing behind the gun. And I loved you that day when you did that, Alec. I thought it was pretty cool. It's still in the movie.
Yeah.
My other favorite one we're in this town square. There's like a little village with a square. And the first AD comes up to me and says, could you go get Mike? We got to have Mike. You know where he is? I go, yeah. He's in that bar right over there. And I walk into this giant adobe building, this big white cathedral-like building.
Yeah.
There's a bar to the left. There's all these tables with the chairs put up. And here you are coming back from the bathroom. And I know you're in there. And you're coming back from the bathroom. And a woman has taken your seat. And you say to the woman, you're not drunk, but you're a little happy. And
No, I probably was
took your
drunk.
seat. And the woman took your seat, and you told her to get up and give her back your seat, and she wouldn't. And you let out one of my favorite yells I've ever heard. Really loud, you yelled out, you need to be.
Well, it probably made a lot of sense at the time. But did she get up, though?
He said, Alec, are you okay? And I go, yeah, why? He goes, you're in a bar. I go, yeah, I know. He goes, you're in a bar, Alec. Are you okay? I said, yes. Why are you asking? He said, because you don't drink. You're in AA. You don't drink, and you're in a bar. He said, like, freaked you out? Are you freaked out?
You remember the day you left? Remember when you left when we were having a big fight?
I remember every moment from 30 years ago, but I don't remember yesterday.
I have that feeling. I'm the same way. I don't remember saying that to that woman, but did she get up?
Did she get up, Alec?
Did she give me my chair
No, They
back?
told me you had to go to work. I came there to fetch him.
I must have ran into her later.
They
Let me
told
just
you.
say all the silly stories and all the people's memories.
You used to get very mad at me because Kim was always talking to me. And I remember one day I heard you because you didn't realize I was on the other side of the wall, and you were saying, "Stop talking to Madsen. Stop talking to Madsen." And Kim was all sweet, and she said, "Oh, I like Michael. He's a really nice guy." And you're like, "No, you don't understand. He's the bad guy in the movie. You got to stop chatting him up. Stop talking to Madsen."
Take your hands out of Madsen's hands.
Did you? No, I wasn't. That didn't happen till later. Oh, Alec, man, we had some good times.
All right, Steven, I got to go because I got to go to this show right now. But let me just say one last thing real quickly.
Please.
And that is everybody.
You always get the last word. I remember that about you.
Right, I do. Everybody's memories aside, I want to say to you, Michael, I really mean this. You're one of the greatest movie actors of all time.
Hey, right he is.
Oh, God, Alec, thank you much.
I couldn't agree
Michael,
more.
It's unbelievable.
I don't think anybody else could have got away with doing the getaway except you.
There's nobody
That's
like you, and there never will be. I don't care if you try to my wife. I still think you guys.
Bless you,
Hey,
brother.
God bless you, man.
One bad movie.
Hang in there, brother.
Ciao, ciao. Thank you, bro. Brother. But that's what I was saying earlier. The respect you have commanded as a result of your commitment to this craft is standalone, bro. I'm not going to, I'm just telling you. And thank you for coming on One Bad Movie. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's my pleasure to be here, Stephen. And I'm here because I love you and because I watch you and you're acting, at the same time. We went up in this business together, and here we are. We're still together, and we're making jokes and laughing. It's got to be worth something, right?
Yep.
50 years from now, nobody's going to give a shit. But right now,
Hey, we're still here.
yep.
And then we got a long way to go. God bless you, bro.
Yeah, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, I just thought it was a nice little interview with one of the Baldwins, which I didn't even know he has a podcast. Like everyone has a podcast. But yeah, Michael Madsen unfortunately passed away 2 days ago, and he's just a great actor. I mean, Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill. I mean, The Getaway's all right. Donnie Brasco, Hateful Eight, and many other movies, but Free Willy, man, it's been a while since I've seen Free Willy. Maybe I'll go back and watch that. But he's always just an actor I've enjoyed, and seems like a decent guy, so. But yeah, R.I.P., so. But that's about it. Like, comment, subscribe. Comment below if you enjoyed the interview. What's your favorite movie with Michael Madsen? But yeah, I'll see you next time.